I am the only treasured pearl of my family. To celebrate my birth, my grandfather searched the entire world to have a top-tier emerald bracelet worth 130 million crafted just for me. And now, my fiancé Caleb silently took my bracelet. All just to make a pair of earrings to match a haute couture outfit for his secretary. I texted him, "Return my bracelet immediately." What came next was an hour later, when the hashtag Regent Partners female secretary wearing emeralds trended on social media. I calmly dialed the police hotline and asked, "Someone stole my emerald bracelet worth over 100 million. How many years can they get for that?" Caleb stormed into my office while I was leisurely sipping my coffee. "How can you sit here drinking coffee so carefree? Do you have any idea you've ruined a young woman's entire future?" I took a slow sip from my cup, not even bothering to look at him. "What woman? How exactly did I ruin her future?" "Caleb, you should know words have legal consequences." Before I could finish, Caleb knocked the coffee cup right out of my hands. "Still playing innocent? It was just a damn bracelet, Natalie. Was it really necessary to be so cruel?" Tonight at the corporate gala with so many people watching, Vanessa was taken away by the police in front of everyone. How do you expect her to face anyone after this? Call and withdraw the report immediately, then hold a press conference to clarify that Vanessa didn't steal your bracelet. I stood up and slapped Caleb across the face. "Do you even remember you're my fiancé? She stole my bracelet. Reporting her to the police is completely justified and legal. Why are you so frantic? Are you two hiding some dirty secret from me?" "What secret could I possibly have with an assistant? I only gave her those earrings so she wouldn't embarrass the company at formal events." Caleb avoided my gaze, his voice rising defensively. "Can you stop being so unreasonable? As my fiancé, instead of standing up for my employees, you call the police to arrest someone in public. By humiliating me like this, by embarrassing Regent Partners, have you ever considered your position as my fiancé? He took my bracelet to make earrings for his female assistant first, yet now he blames me for not saving his face." I sneered, "If you're going to defend a thief, maybe Regent Partners should just rename itself the Thieves Guild. By only reporting her to the police, I've already spared your dignity. I'll give you 3 days to return the bracelet to me. Otherwise, if the CEO of Regent Partners gets arrested for theft, that would be the real humiliation." I shot a glance at my assistant waiting by the door, who immediately stepped toward Caleb. "This way, Caleb." Caleb knew I meant what I said. If he kept pestering me, he'd only lose more face. "Natalie, since you're being so heartless, don't blame me for what happens next." With those words, he turned and walked away without looking back. For 3 whole days, Caleb didn't call or text me once. Truth be told, it wasn't really about the bracelet. What I wanted was his attitude. Our marriage had always been one of business convenience, a proper match between families. Over these 2 years, our family's collaboration grew increasingly close. Caleb had always been gentle and courteous to me, not to mention his face that could rival any celebrity's. I couldn't help but develop feelings for him. But from the first moment he showed favoritism toward Vanessa, I withdrew my heart completely. Since there's no affection left, our engagement has become purely a matter of mutual interest. No matter how promiscuous he is, as long as it's not in my face, I can pretend not to know. But when he took my belongings to woo Vanessa, it directly caused me losses. And afterward, he showed no remorse whatsoever. That makes me reconsider whether this engagement should continue. I was just contemplating how to minimize the losses while smoothly calling off the engagement when my assistant rushed in with a tablet, forgetting even to knock. "Boss, bad news, Caleb has called a press conference." I took the tablet, which was playing live footage of the press conference. In the video, Vanessa stood at the center with Caleb standing guard by her side. "Hello everyone, I'm Caleb. Regarding the incident a few days ago where Vanessa was accused of stealing Natalie's bracelet, it has now been clarified as a misunderstanding. As you all know, Natalie is my fiancé and the sole heir of her family, so it's inevitable that she can be a bit spoiled. I'd like to take this opportunity to apologize to Vanessa on her behalf. Caleb bowed toward Vanessa with a smile in his eyes. Vanessa took 2 steps back, gave a coquettish laugh, and then picked up the microphone. As Natalie is our boss's fiancé and will soon be the lady of our conglomerate, as her subordinate, I naturally wouldn't blame Natalie for anything. However, it is indeed excessive to waste public resources over a mere misunderstanding. Here, on behalf of Regent Partners, I once again extend my apologies to everyone. The video abruptly ends there. The assistant explains, Caleb's parents rushed to the scene immediately and stopped the reporters. Presumably, they were unaware of Caleb's plan to hold a press conference. I couldn't care less about Caleb's parents' stance on this matter. If my engagement to Caleb required his parents to back me up, I'd forever be beneath him. As for Vanessa, it goes without saying that Caleb was the one who bailed her out. I clicked open the comment section below the video, and sure enough, it was filled with curses directed at me. The capitalist's daughter sure is something, labeling someone as a thief to have them arrested, then dismissing it all as a misunderstanding. As a fellow woman, I dare say Natalie must be jealous. If you're jealous, go home and deal with it. What's the point of wasting public resources? I formally request Natalie's arrest. False police reports come with consequences. As I scrolled through the comments, my assistant stepped out to take a call and returned looking grim. Boss, reporters have surrounded the company building. There's also a crowd at the police station demanding your arrest. Ding, a message from Caleb popped up on my phone. Apologize to Vanessa, and I'll publicly explain everything for you. I expressionlessly tapped my phone twice and replied with a single word, fuck off. Leaving aside why I should apologize to Vanessa, having Caleb step forward to explain at this moment would only make netizens more convinced that Vanessa was wronged. I instructed my assistant, contact a few well-known media companies. I'm willing to accept their interviews, but they must be conducted live. Understood, President Shin. I'll arrange it right away. The media companies quickly arranged for reporters. In this day and age, who wouldn't want to get first-hand exposure? Moreover, my requirement for a live broadcast was nothing but beneficial for them. The livestream room was tagged with Albion Holdings, attracting over 100,000 viewers within the first minute of broadcast. I sat composedly before the camera as barrage comments streamed across the screen. Is this Natalie? She looks pretty average to me. The woman who called the police, how dare you go live? After bullying ordinary people like us, now you're trying to ride the hype? With that overly seductive look, nowhere near as adorable as our Vanessa baby, no wonder she's so jealous. I ignored the barrage of comments and signaled the reporter to begin the interview. The reporter cleared his throat and put on a professional fake smile. Natalie, is it true that you and Caleb have relationship problems as netizens speculate? Was it out of jealousy that you falsely accused Vanessa to have her arrested? Her short sentence appeared to contain 2 questions, but in reality, both concealed the same trap behind them. Caleb's press conference had portrayed Vanessa as an innocent girl who would smile and forgive even when wronged. In the eyes of netizens unaware of the truth, I had become the epitome of an evil capitalist. Whether I answered yes or no, they would only think I deserved to die and was making excuses. So I chose not to answer. Instead, I smiled and countered, if strangers moved into your house, would you call the police or choose to live with them? When faced with a rhetorical trap, the simplest solution is to throw the question back. Of course, call the police, the journalist blurted out. She immediately regretted her words. By answering this way, she had essentially handed the initiative right back to me. I chuckled lightly, staring straight into the camera. When someone steals my $100 million emerald bracelet, of course I'd choose to call the police. The live stream comments scrolled faster and faster. Why do I feel like this Natalie is kinda badass? Humph. Typical capitalist, dodging the real issue and twisting the truth. Caleb personally came forward to clarify, Vanessa never stole your bracelet. Watching the scrolling barrage of comments, I picked up the photo beside me. This is surveillance footage from half a month ago. My fiancé, Caleb, claimed he needed my bracelet for a jewelry exhibition to make an impression. Out of trust, I personally handed the bracelet to him. As soon as I finished speaking, the barrage seemed to freeze, falling eerily silent. I then produced another photo. This is surveillance footage from a jewelry workshop. It shows Caleb personally bringing Vanessa to the shop with my bracelet and a pair of earring designs. That's all I have to say. Thank you all for watching. After the interview, clips of the livestream were quickly shared online. Just as I had anticipated, public opinion shifted dramatically in an instant. I knew there would be a twist. Support the young lady in taking legal action. The bracelet was taken by Caleb, Natalie suffered the loss, Vanessa is the one facing jail time. Once again, this scumbag man manages to disappear unscathed. The most innocent one here is Vanessa. When a boss gives a gift to an employee, who in their right mind would refuse? Innocent, Vanessa? Did you see how she was eyeing Caleb in this morning's video? Practically undressing him with her gaze. Our Caleb this, shamelessly playing the other woman right out in the open. The audacity. I hadn't finished reading the comments when Caleb called. I'm downstairs at your company. Come down right now and apologize to Vanessa with me. Do you have any idea that everyone online is calling Vanessa a homewrecker? You've ruined an innocent girl's reputation, doesn't your conscience hurt? If she can't handle the pressure and ends up taking her own life, Natalie, you'll be a murderer. I laughed in disbelief. The moment Vanessa put on those earrings, she was destined to pay the price. And you, Caleb, from today onward, you are no longer my fiancé. Our engagement ends here. There was a moment of silence on the other end of the line, followed by Caleb's furious roar. Natalie! How long are you going to keep this up? Before he could finish, I hung up the phone. Since I'd decided to call off the engagement, the joint projects between our families needed to be divided as soon as possible. When I finally returned home after handling everything, Caleb's parents were talking with mine. Caleb, shedding his previous arrogant demeanor, stepped forward to take my bag. Natalie, you haven't eaten yet, have you? I bought your favorite pastries. Would you like some? Keeping my expression cold, I distanced myself from him and looked at the couple on the sofa. Uncle, Auntie, did you come about the engagement? At the mention of the engagement, everyone's expressions darkened. Caleb's father spoke up first. Natalie, we've heard all about what this idiot has done. It's Caleb who wronged you, but I can assure you, he definitely didn't cross the line. For my sake, please forgive him this time. Caleb's father is known for his stubborn temper, so this attitude of his is quite unexpected. I thought we were headed for mutual destruction, but now it seems I might actually come out on top. Uncle, it's not that I refuse to forgive him. I pretended to be conflicted and walked over to sit next to my dad. Caleb manipulated public opinion to cyberbully me over an assistant. If I hadn't presented evidence today to prove I didn't file a false police report, you'd probably have to visit me at the police station to see me. If I just forgive him like this, where would that leave our family's dignity? Caleb's father was, after all, a man who had once dominated the business world. Having humbled himself to speak meekly once, it was difficult for him to do so a second time, especially when facing someone as junior as me. Caleb's father, his face dark with anger, could only vent his frustration on Caleb. He turned and slapped Caleb across the face. Instantly, 5 red finger marks swelled on Caleb's fair complexion. Caleb's mother gasped but refrained from speaking in front of us, only able to look at her son with heartache. Caleb took a deep breath and fell to his knees with a thud. Natalie, I know I was wrong. I swear I never had feelings for Vanessa, I only pitied her. It's my fault. I thought she was a girl from the slums, so I took extra care of her, never imagining it would hurt our relationship. I've already turned her into the police. As for how many years she'll get, that's her fate now. Please don't leave me. I promise I'll be devoted only to you. Forgive me. Caleb spoke with such earnestness, as if he might tear out his heart and hand it to me the next second. But I'd already seen through him. His act only made me sick. Still, I had to play along with this charade. I stepped forward and pulled Caleb up, raising my bare wrist. My bracelet can never be restored. My grandfather spent 130 million to have it made for me. Now that grandfather is gone, that's the only keepsake he left me. You have to give me that plot of land in the South District before I'll forgive you. This? Caleb looked at his father with difficulty. Caleb's father frowned, thought for a long moment, then gritted his teeth and spoke. All right, as long as you two are happy and our families continue to cooperate for a long time, it's just a piece of land. If it makes Natalie happy, so be it. Tomorrow, I'll have Caleb bring the agreement to your office. After they left, my father looked at me with a knowing gaze. You clearly wanted to break off the engagement but changed your mind halfway. Tell me, what are you scheming? Don't tell me you actually care about that piece of land in the South District. The land in South City is quite valuable, but certainly not worth sacrificing my marriage for. What I truly covet is the entirety of Regent Partners. From the moment Caleb's father spoke, I sensed something was off. While breaking off the engagement would cause losses for both families, it shouldn't have warranted such groveling for forgiveness. That's precisely why I deliberately demanded the South City land as compensation for my bracelet. When Caleb's father clenched his teeth and agreed, it proved he wanted something far more important from me. And what I could offer was the binding of our family interests. The Regent family might already be a colossus with feet of clay. But this remains mere speculation until confirmed. I won't reveal my plans. I waved my hand coquettishly. What scheme could I possibly have? I've lost $1 billion bracelet, isn't it only fair to take one of their plots of land? Enough already, the poor girl's exhausted from the long day, my mother scolded, shooting my father a reproachful look. Wrapping an arm around my shoulders, she admonished, do whatever you want with this, just promise me one thing, don't let yourself be treated unfairly. The next morning, Caleb delivered the agreement to my office. The usually impeccably groomed Caleb looked haggard and disheveled today, as if he hadn't slept all night. After signing the agreement, Caleb took out the breakfast he bought for me. Your stomach has always been sensitive. Eat first before getting busy. In the past, I was the one trying to maintain the illusion of marital harmony. Now that the tables have turned, I only find it laughable. Not wanting to share the same space with him, I feigned concern. Didn't you sleep well last night? Caleb froze, then abruptly raised his hand to rub his nose. Yeah, had some trouble sleeping. Then you should go back and rest. I have a meeting later, so I won't see you out. Caleb, feeling awkward, didn't linger either. He said goodbye and left. After Caleb was gone, an assistant brought in a file folder containing Regent Partners' financial records for the past 3 years. On the surface, the profits appeared to increase year after year, but after accounting for costs, they were actually losing hundreds of millions annually. If I hadn't ordered a thorough investigation, who would have guessed that Regent Partners was already on the verge of collapse? Has anyone verified this with Vanessa? I asked. The assistant's expression turned grave. Vanessa did turn herself in last night, and she's currently detained in prison. However, Vanessa has been swapped out. I knew it. Caleb had made such a grandiose show of protecting Vanessa, how could he possibly have let her surrender so easily? Go check if Caleb visited the airport last night. The assistant quickly uncovered the truth. Caleb had indeed gone to the airport, found someone to replace Vanessa in turning herself in, then changed Vanessa's identity and sent her abroad. Looking at the flight information before me, I couldn't help but feel puzzled. Was Caleb out of his mind, or did he simply underestimate me? Did he really think such a simple trick could fool me? Seeing my silence, the assistant quietly asked, Boss, should I contact the police? My gaze fell on the breakfast Caleb had brought, and suddenly a plan formed in my mind. I took a photo of the breakfast and posted it online with the caption, Thank you, Fiancé, for the breakfast. And at the end, I tagged Caleb's personal account. Yesterday, just as everyone finished gossiping, the buzz about Caleb and me hadn't even died down yet. Soon my post went viral, even getting reposted internationally. This way, no matter where Vanessa hides, she'd see this post. I had my assistant arrange for some paid commenters, and soon the post was flooded with heart-eyed emojis. So sweet. A domineering CEO turns into a delivery guy, real couples are just too adorable. Who says wealthy families can't have true love? A well-matched romance is pure bliss. Caleb's father saw the trending topics and thought the land in the southern city wasn't given away for nothing, ordering Caleb to deliver breakfast to me every day to nurture our relationship. However, every meal Caleb brought ended up in the trash after I finished taking photos of him. Thanks to my relentless posting, Caleb and I became the universally recognized true love of the wealthy elite. Every single post attracted views from the same overseas IP address. When Caleb's business trips abroad became increasingly frequent, I knew my plan had succeeded. In Vanessa's mind, she and Caleb were on the same team, while I was their common enemy. Every post I made was like Caleb stabbing her in the back. When Caleb returned from yet another business trip, I made a point of going to the airport to pick him up. Then we headed straight to the mall, where I bought the latest limited edition bag and immediately posted a photo of it. They say where the money goes, the love follows. Thanks to my fiancé for the limited edition bag. That night, Caleb sent me a message saying there was still unfinished business abroad and he had to fly back immediately. I yawned, rolled over, and went back to sleep. The next evening, news spread across the internet that Caleb had secretly met his lover abroad and splurged on top-tier jewelry for her. I immediately notified Caleb's parents to call off the engagement, and his father came to see me again. After being turned away by my parents at our home, he went straight to my company. Natalie, the media always blows things out of proportion. You have to trust Caleb. I let out a cold laugh and threw down a high-definition photo. The image clearly captured Caleb and Vanessa's faces. Pointing at Vanessa in the photo, I said, "Need I introduce this woman?" I gave Caleb a chance, he didn't treasure it. Calling off the engagement is non-negotiable. Thanks to Caleb's press conference back then, I witnessed the power of the media firsthand. Otherwise, I wouldn't have arranged for someone to follow Caleb, nor would I have been able to capture those photos of him and Vanessa. After I withdrew my investment, Regent Partners faced even tighter cash flow, and the shareholders collectively demanded Caleb's removal as general manager. Caleb rushed back from abroad, and the first thing he did upon landing was to come to the company to see me. I had my assistant hand him the photos and warned him that if he continued to harass me, I would expose the high-definition close-ups of him and Vanessa online. Caleb tore the photos to shreds on the spot, and shortly after, I received a message from him, "Natalie, how dare you scheme against me?" I raised an eyebrow at my phone before promptly adding him to the blacklist. Only realizing it now? A bit too late. A month later, Albion Holdings' joint project with the government officially broke ground in South District. Meanwhile, Regent Partners, despite having secured the deal, saw their partners back out at the last minute, only to sign the contract with Albion Holdings instead. I ran into Vanessa again at a business gala. She approached me first, "Natalie, long time no see." She wore a hand-beaded haute couture gown, and around her neck was the very necklace Caleb had splurged millions to acquire at auction. I swirled the red wine in my glass, not even bothering to lift my eyelids. Caleb's manners are slipping. How dare he bring a thief to an event like this? My voice carried just enough for those nearby to hear. As my words hung in the air, the entire banquet hall fell silent. Then, someone recognized her. "Isn't that Vanessa? How could Caleb bring her here? Look at how she's dressed, practically begging to have diamonds embedded directly onto her skin. Such poor taste." So what? She's gone from mistress to official now. Who knows, she might even become Caleb's wife someday. Vanessa's face turned ashen as she endured the pointing fingers and whispers. Seeing this, Caleb quickly strode over and pulled her into his arms. "Natalie, I never realized how vicious you could be. The engagement's been called off, and I've even given you the South City land. We're square now, what gives you the right to bully Vanessa?" Before he could finish speaking, a glass of red wine was splashed onto his face. "The land in South City is rightfully mine. Let me remind you, not only is Vanessa a thief, you're an accomplice too." My public fallout with Caleb became the talk of the town. While industry leaders mostly watched with amusement, most small and medium enterprises began choosing sides. After that disastrous gala incident, another one of Caleb's hard-won projects fell through. As CEO of Regent Partners, he represented the entire company after all. No one wants to partner with someone who can't distinguish right from wrong and has volatile emotions. Within 2 months, #Regent Partners wage delays started trending. An employee of Regent Partners revealed that he hasn't received his salary for 3 months. If this continues, he won't be able to pay his mortgage. He resigned, but the company didn't even offer the N+1 compensation. This trending topic directly caused Regent Partners' stock price to plummet, and even the news of Caleb's secret rendezvous with his lover abroad was brought up again. I reasonably suspect he's embezzling public funds. Otherwise, how could he afford to bid on jewelry worth tens of millions for his lover but not have money to pay salaries? Tens of millions? Back then, he even took his fiancé's emerald worth hundreds of millions and had it made into earrings for an assistant. With a boss like that, Regent Partners is bound to go bankrupt sooner or later. Under pressure from public opinion and official scrutiny, Caleb had no choice but to take out a bank loan to cover the overdue wages. His father, overwhelmed with rage, ended up in the hospital. Now Caleb faced only 2 paths: either pull off a stunning comeback or drag things out until the company went bankrupt. Caleb chose the former. He took on a steel reinforcement project with a delivery deadline of just 1 month. The profit margin was high, but if it weren't for the equally staggering penalty for breach of contract, the project wouldn't have ended up in Caleb's hands. He had now reached a point of desperation. The Regent Partners factory was working around the clock, yet by the delivery deadline, they had only produced half the order quantity. To meet the deadline, Caleb had no choice but to purchase from another company. And the only supplier with qualified products in stock was mine. Caleb came to me, and naturally, I didn't miss the opportunity to make money. After hearing my quote, he froze on the spot. "Natalie, you're taking advantage of the situation." Realizing he still needed me, his tone softened again. "Natalie, you know this project is a matter of life or death for Regent Partners. Considering our long-standing relationship, please help me out. You and I have no relationship to speak of." I pushed the purchase contract toward him. "Cash on delivery. If you still want to play the emotional card, the door's on your left, don't let it hit you on the way out." Caleb gritted his teeth and signed the contract. Before leaving, he suddenly turned back. "Natalie, I'll make a comeback for sure. Just you wait and see." I instructed my assistant to ensure delivery by the contracted date. As days passed, Caleb's calls demanding the goods never stopped. I patiently replied to him each time, "Don't worry, I'll definitely deliver the goods on time." On the final day of the delivery deadline, Caleb personally led his team in an attempt to break into the warehouse. I made it clear that if he dared to force his way in, I would immediately call the police. In the end, on the very day news broke about Regent Partners' contract breach and their impending astronomical penalty fees, Albion Holdings delivered the goods to Regent Partners headquarters 3 months ahead of schedule. Caleb's father, who was still hospitalized, suffered a sudden cerebral hemorrhage upon hearing the news. It took a full day and night of emergency treatment to save his life. Though he survived, he would remain bedridden forever. While Caleb was worrying about the breach penalty, I placed an acquisition contract in front of him. He glared at me, eyes filled with fury. "Are you satisfied now? You could have saved me, could have saved my company, but not only did you refuse, you schemed against me, leaving me with this astronomical breach penalty. My father is still lying in the ICU. Aren't you afraid of karma?" I lightly tapped the table with my fingertips. "Your father's illness was caused by your own stupidity. It has nothing to do with me. Out of respect for your uncle, the acquisition price I'm offering is enough to cover the breach penalty and his subsequent medical expenses. This is your only way out now." Caleb stared at me, panting heavily. In the end, he still signed the contract. In an instant, he became dejected and lost. "If only I hadn't taken your bracelet back then, would everything have been different?" I didn't answer him, because there are no what-ifs in this world. Everyone must pay the price for their actions. As I tucked away the contract, Vanessa burst in from outside. Well, I knew you two couldn't completely sever ties. She took out her phone and started recording my face. I'm going to post this online so everyone knows that the president of Albion Holdings, the wealthy heiress, is secretly a homewrecker. I frowned and knocked her phone away. Vanessa went crazy, raising her hand to grab my hair. Caleb stepped in front of me and stopped her. Enough. Do you still think you haven't harmed me enough? I harmed you? Vanessa pointed at herself, her face full of disbelief. Back then, it was you who couldn't stand Natalie's diva temper and took the initiative to be nice to me. Now that she's dumped you, you think everything is my fault? Are you even a man? The two kept struggling all the way downstairs, with Caleb trying to drag her away by force. They were immediately stopped by 2 police officers. Caleb, Vanessa, you are suspected of coercing someone to take the blame, misusing others' personal information, and aiding a criminal's escape. You are under arrest by law. 3 months later, the court convened. With solid evidence and the severity of the crime, they were ultimately sentenced to life imprisonment. The successive blows drove Caleb to complete collapse. After a violent outburst, he became mentally deranged. When not having episodes, he would huddle alone in a corner, incessantly muttering, "Shouldn't have taken the bracelet, shouldn't have taken the bracelet." When his illness flares up, he often mistakes others for Vanessa and suddenly lunges to tear at them. For this, he has suffered greatly in prison. But I knew nothing of this, as I had officially taken over Albion Holdings Group, plotting how to make sweeping changes and carve out a career. As for men, Sister here is no less capable than them.